Your mind is like a garden. Think about that for a moment. If you want a garden to thrive, it needs your attention, care, and most importantly, your direction. You are the gardener, and your thoughts are the seeds you plant. If you plant seeds of negativity, doubt, and fear, your garden will grow those very things. But if you plant seeds of positivity, hope, and action, you will cultivate a garden full of opportunities, growth, and success. Just like a garden, your mind needs to be tended to. It won't just grow into something beautiful on its own. If you neglect it, if you let weeds of negativity and self-doubt take over, they will choke out any chance of growth. The same thing happens with your mind. If you allow negative thoughts, worries, and fears to take root, they will cloud your thinking and keep you from achieving your full potential. But when you actively work on your mind, when you plant positive seeds and care for them, you can watch your life grow in ways you never thought possible. One of the most important things to understand is that you are always planting thoughts in your mind. Every time you think, speak, or focus on something, you're planting seeds. These seeds may not sprout right away, but over time, they'll grow. The question you need to ask yourself is, what kind of seeds am I planting? Am I planting seeds of success, confidence, and gratitude? Or am I planting seeds of fear, doubt, and worry? The reality is, you don't need to plant these negative seeds on purpose. They come automatically. Life throws challenges your way, and it's easy to get discouraged or frustrated. But that's why you need to be intentional about what you plant. Planting positive thoughts is not a one-time effort. It requires consistency. It's not enough to just think positively for a few minutes and then let your mind drift back into its old habits. Just like a garden needs regular care and attention, your mind needs daily cultivation. You must make a conscious decision to feed it with thoughts that serve your goals and aspirations. And this takes practice. It takes discipline to create the habit of focusing on what you want rather than what you fear or what's going wrong. When you begin to focus on the positive, you'll start to notice that your mind becomes sharper, clearer, and more solution-oriented. You'll find that instead of dwelling on problems, you start looking for solutions. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, you start appreciating what you do have. And as you feed your mind with positivity, you'll begin to notice the changes in your life. Opportunities that seemed hidden will suddenly become apparent. You'll develop the confidence to take the necessary steps to move forward, and you'll begin to see results in your career, relationships, and personal growth. But the key is this: you must be the gardener of your mind. You can't let the weeds of negativity grow unchecked. You have to be proactive about what you think. It's easy to let the mind wander into dark places when things aren't going well, but when you take responsibility for what you think, you take control of your life. You decide whether you'll focus on the problems or the solutions, the obstacles or the opportunities. So how do you start planting better seeds in your mind? It starts with awareness. You need to become aware of what's going on inside your head. What are you thinking about most of the time? Are these thoughts empowering or limiting? Are they helping you move toward your goals, or are they holding you back? Once you've identified the negative thoughts or patterns, you can begin to replace them with more positive, constructive ones. For example, if you're constantly thinking about how hard things are, you're planting the seed of struggle. But if you switch that thought to, I can handle this challenge and I'll learn from it, you're planting the seed of resilience. The more you practice this, the more you'll train your mind to focus on the positive side of every situation. It's also important to recognize that the people you surround yourself with are part of your garden. If you're constantly around people who are negative, complaining, or draining your energy, it's like planting weeds in your garden. You have to be selective about who you allow into your mental space. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and push you to be better. These positive influences will help your garden flourish. Remember, your mind is your most powerful tool. It shapes your reality. The thoughts you allow to grow in your mind will either work for you or against you. If you take the time to carefully tend to your mental garden, to plant seeds of hope, positivity, and possibility, you'll create a life that reflects those qualities. It won't happen overnight, But with consistent effort and a commitment to taking control, you will see the fruits of your labor in every area of your life. Discipline and awareness are the foundation of controlling your thoughts. Without discipline, your mind will wander wherever it pleases, often leading you to places that don't serve your goals. Without awareness, you won't even realize that this is happening. The two must go hand in hand, like a well-oiled machine, each one complementing the other. You need to cultivate the discipline to choose your thoughts and the awareness to recognize when your mind is straying. The discipline to control your thoughts starts with a decision. It's a choice to take responsibility for your mental state. You see, your mind is like a wild horse. If you don't tame it, it will run wild, dragging you wherever it wants to go. But when you have the discipline to train it, to steer it in the direction that serves you, that's when you start to see real change. The mind doesn't just follow your wishes, it needs guidance. It needs structure, it needs to be trained, and that takes consistent effort. The discipline to control your thoughts doesn't mean suppressing negative emotions or pretending that you never have doubts or fears. It simply means that you have the ability to recognize those thoughts when they arise, and you have the self-control to either reframe them or replace them with better, more empowering thoughts. It's about developing the ability to choose your response instead of reacting mindlessly to whatever comes to mind. This kind of discipline requires practice and commitment. It's like building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Without awareness, however, the discipline to control your thoughts is nearly impossible. You can't change what you're not aware of. If you're not paying attention to what's going on inside your mind, it's easy to let negative thoughts slip in unnoticed. Before you know it, you've spent hours or even days thinking about things that don't serve you. Awareness is the first step to taking control. Is the act of observing your thoughts without judgment, simply noticing when your mind wanders, when it starts to focus on fear, doubt, or negativity. Awareness means paying attention to your inner dialogue. What are you telling yourself about your abilities, about your circumstances, about your future? Is it positive or negative? Are you focusing on your potential or your limitations? These are the questions you need to ask yourself on a daily basis. The more you become aware of your thoughts, the easier it is to shift them. But without awareness, your thoughts will just flow by unnoticed, and you'll continue to believe them as if they're truths, even when they're not. Discipline alone can only take you so far. Without awareness, you could be practicing the wrong things. You could be training yourself to react in ways that don't support your success. Awareness allows you to correct your course. If you've been thinking negatively, you can step back, take a deep breath, and recognize what's happening. And then, with discipline, you can choose to shift your thinking to refocus on something more empowering, more aligned with where you want to go. It's like being a coach to yourself. You notice when you're falling into old patterns, and with awareness, you can guide yourself back to where you need to be. It's also important to understand that discipline doesn't mean perfection. You won't always catch every negative thought or always stay focused on the right things. That's okay. The key is not to be hard on yourself when you slip up, but to be aware of it and get back on track. The process of controlling your mind is a journey, not a destination. It's about consistency, not perfection. Discipline allows you to keep going even when you mess up. Awareness gives you the insight to recognize that you've made a mistake and the opportunity to correct it. The connection between discipline and awareness is also evident in how you approach your goals. If you have the discipline to focus on your objectives and take the necessary actions every day, but you lack awareness, you might be taking actions that aren't aligned with your true goals. You might be moving, but in the wrong direction. Awareness helps you stay focused on what truly matters. It helps you assess your progress and adjust when needed. Without it, you could be expending effort on tasks that aren't bringing you closer to where you want to be. When you combine awareness and discipline, you create a powerful synergy. You're not just moving through life unconsciously, you're actively shaping your experiences. You have the discipline to control your actions and the awareness to understand whether those actions are moving you closer to your goals. This combination makes you unstoppable. because now you're acting with intention and you're aware of every step you take. Think about successful people. They have the discipline to keep working even when they face setbacks. They have the awareness to adjust their strategies when things aren't working. They don't just react to life, they create it. They stay in control of their minds and their actions. And as a result, they are able to achieve extraordinary things. You can do the same. You have the ability to develop both discipline and awareness. With consistent practice, you can train your mind to serve you rather than hinder you. The thoughts you feed your mind are the seeds that shape your actions, and your actions, in turn, shape your life. This simple truth is powerful because it means that at any moment you are planting the future you desire or the future you fear. Every thought you entertain, every belief you hold, and every piece of information you absorb has a direct impact on how you think, feel, and act. If you focus on negativity, doubt, and fear, your actions will be guided by those emotions, and the results you get will reflect that. But if you focus on positivity, solutions, and possibilities, your actions will follow and your life will be shaped by those empowering thoughts. It all starts with your mind. It's the first place where success or failure is decided. Before anything happens in the external world, it happens inside your mind. If you think you can, you will act in ways that bring success. If you think you can't, you will find yourself paralyzed, unable to take the necessary steps to move forward. The mind doesn't just respond to the world around you, it shapes the world you experience. The way you perceive things is based on your thoughts, and your perception determines how you act. If you see every obstacle as a challenge to overcome, your actions will reflect that mindset. But if you see every obstacle as an insurmountable problem, your actions will mirror that sense of helplessness. And the way you think directly affects how you feel. Have you ever noticed how your emotions shift depending on your thoughts? If you wake up thinking about all the things that could go wrong, it doesn't take long for you to feel anxious, stressed, or defeated. On the other hand, if you start your day thinking about the opportunities ahead, the possibilities for growth, and the things you're grateful for, you immediately start to feel a sense of hope, excitement, and possibility. Your thoughts create your emotional state, and your emotional state influences your actions. When you're feeling good, you're more likely to take positive, productive actions. When you're feeling bad, you're more likely to procrastinate, doubt yourself, or avoid taking action altogether. This is why it's so important to feed your mind with the right thoughts. If you want to live a life of success, fulfillment, and growth, you must train your mind to focus on thoughts that serve you. The more you practice feeding your mind with positive, empowering thoughts, the more natural it becomes to act in alignment with those thoughts. Over time, those thoughts become beliefs, and beliefs shape your identity. Your identity then shapes your actions. If you believe you're a capable, successful person, you will naturally take actions that reflect that belief. If you believe you're unworthy or incapable, you'll take actions that reflect that belief as well. It's not just about thinking positive for the sake of it. It's about being intentional with your thoughts, guiding your mind to focus on what you want to create rather than what you fear or what's going wrong. Our minds are naturally wired to focus on the negative. We have a tendency to ruminate on our problems, our fears, and our doubts. This is why it's so important to be mindful of what you feed your mind. If you don't consciously choose the thoughts you focus on, the world around you will fill your mind with negativity. The news, social media, the people around you, they all have the potential to shape the way you think, often in ways that are not empowering. One of the most powerful ways to start feeding your mind the right thoughts is to practice gratitude. When you focus on the things you're grateful for, it shifts your attention from what you don't have to what you do have. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to negative thinking because it helps you recognize the abundance in your life rather than focusing on what's lacking. Start each day by listing 3 things you're grateful for. This simple practice can rewire your brain to start focusing on the positives, which will then guide your actions and shape your life in a more positive direction. Another way to feed your mind with the right thoughts is to surround yourself with people who lift you up, who inspire you, and who encourage you to be your best. The people you spend the most time with influence your thinking. If you're constantly around people who are negative, who complain about everything, and who focus on what's wrong, it's going to be much harder for you to maintain a positive mindset. But if you surround yourself with people who are optimistic, driven, and focused on solutions, you'll find it much easier to adopt a similar mindset. The thoughts of those around you will begin to seep into your mind, and before you know it, you'll start thinking like they do. Taking control of your thoughts is not a one-time decision, it's an ongoing practice. Every day you have the opportunity to feed your mind with thoughts that either help you or hurt you. The more you feed it with empowering thoughts, the more it becomes second nature to act in ways that align with those thoughts. Over time, this becomes a habit, and as your thoughts become more positive and aligned with your goals, your actions will follow suit. This is why it's crucial to be intentional about what you allow into your mind. Every book you read, every video you watch, every conversation you have, all of these things are feeding your mind. Choose wisely what you expose yourself to. If you want to achieve great things in your life, start by feeding your mind with thoughts, information, and influences that inspire you, challenge you, and help you grow. The more you feed your mind with positivity and possibility, the more your life will reflect that. When you begin taking control of your mind, you start taking control of your destiny. Your mind is the driving force behind everything you do, and the thoughts you entertain, the beliefs you hold, and the actions you take are all influenced by your mindset. If you allow your thoughts to run wild, unchecked, or controlled by outside forces, you will find that your life is shaped by circumstances and events that are beyond your control. But when you take control of your mind, you can direct your life, shape your experiences, and achieve your goals. Your mind becomes the compass that guides you toward your desired future. Taking control of your mind means being intentional about your thoughts, actions, and emotions. It means making conscious decisions about how you will respond to challenges, opportunities, and setbacks. Instead of reacting impulsively, you take a step back, evaluate the situation, and choose the best course of action. When you take control of your mind, you refuse to let negative influences, limiting beliefs, or external circumstances dictate your life. Instead, you become the creator of your own reality. This is where personal responsibility comes in. Taking control of your mind means taking full responsibility for your thoughts, feelings, and actions. It's about recognizing that you have the power to choose how you respond to any given situation. You have the power to decide whether you will be defined by your past, your circumstances, or your challenges, or whether you will rise above them and create a better future. This mindset shifts you from a passive state of reaction to an active state of creation. When you control your mind, you stop allowing external circumstances to control you. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and obstacles, but how you respond to them determines the course of your life. If you let failure, rejection, or criticism dictate your actions, you will find yourself stuck in a cycle of negativity and self-doubt. But when you take control of your mind, you view challenges as opportunities for growth. You embrace setbacks as valuable lessons and take them as stepping stones towards success. Your mind is your most valuable asset. It has the power to create your reality, shape your future, and determine the quality of your life. When you take control of your mind, you gain clarity, focus, and direction. You start to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You develop the confidence to take risks, make bold decisions, and pursue your dreams with determination. You stop letting fear hold you back and start stepping into your full potential. When you control your mind, you move with purpose and conviction, knowing that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. This process of taking control of your mind also involves cultivating a sense of resilience. Life is not always smooth sailing, and you will face setbacks along the way, but the ability to persevere through adversity is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. Resilience comes from within, and it is developed by training your mind to remain focused on your goals even when things get tough. When you have control over your mind, you have the strength to bounce back from failure, learn from your mistakes, and keep moving forward. Another crucial aspect of taking control of your mind is creating a positive mental environment. The thoughts you feed your mind are powerful, and they shape your reality. If you constantly dwell on negativity, worry, or fear, you create a mental environment that is hostile to your success. But when you consciously choose to focus on the positive, on solutions, and on possibilities, you create an environment that is conducive to growth and achievement. By controlling your mind, you create the mental space necessary to thrive and achieve your goals. The more you take control of your mind, the more your life will reflect the positive changes you've made. Your relationships, career, health, and finances all improve when you train your mind to focus on abundance, success, and opportunities. You start to attract the right people, the right circumstances, and the right opportunities into your life. Your mind becomes a magnet for success, and as you take control of it, you realize that the possibilities are endless. When you take control of your mind, you also begin to take control of your emotions. Emotions can be powerful forces, and when left unchecked, they can hijack your thoughts and actions. But when you control your mind, you also learn to manage your emotions. You stop reacting impulsively to every feeling and instead take the time to evaluate your emotions and respond thoughtfully. This emotional control gives you the ability to remain calm under pressure, to make rational decisions, and to navigate difficult situations with grace and poise. Ultimately, taking control of your mind is about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about recognizing your potential, setting clear goals, and creating the mental discipline necessary to achieve them. It's about refusing to let fear, doubt, or limiting beliefs hold you back from living the life you truly want. When you take control of your mind, you take control of your destiny, and you begin to experience a life of purpose, fulfillment, and success. You have the power within you to shape your future, and it all starts with taking control of the thoughts that guide you. In conclusion, taking control of your mind is the first and most powerful step toward shaping the life you desire. Your thoughts dictate your actions, and your actions ultimately create your reality. By cultivating discipline and awareness, you can consciously choose the thoughts that serve your highest goals and aspirations. This empowerment allows you to rise above challenges, transform negative beliefs into positive ones, and take charge of your destiny. The journey of mastering your mind is not an overnight process, but with consistent practice, you'll begin to see the immense power you hold to create a life filled with success, fulfillment, and growth. Your mind is a tool for limitless potential. Use it wisely, and it will become the key to unlocking your brightest future.